Hello, everybody. Great to see you all today on this lovely sunny day. Today, we would like to continue our efforts to highlight the stories and quotes of Americans who were born into slavery. The last story we shared a few weeks ago was the story of Robert Glenn, and it was a very massive, overarching story that had a lot of high points and low points and emotional catharsis and longing and, in the end, some form of closure. And the reason I waited so long to tell that kind of story is because I believe there's an importance here, a very, very deep importance in making sure we're respecting the peoples whose stories we're telling. And it's an importance beyond which I think any of us can conceive of. It's so crucial to these human beings who lived, and the best we can do is do our best here. And I think that we need to start by talking about all sides of what their lives were like and deal with the harsh realities that reminds us of. That is a crucial part of this. But by engaging with their lives wholeheartedly and by engaging with them critically, as we've discussed previously, understanding that they are byproducts of their time, as one of the notes on the project went, they are a display of empathy and racism. When we can understand all that, we can start to recognize specific parts of their lives that are so often overlooked while not drowning out the parts of their lives that we do need to remember. And today, I want to talk about a side of a lot of Americans' lives who were born in slavery that we don't often think about. Recently, we've talked a lot about who helped build America. The fact that many of these individuals literally built the buildings that became our country. But they were also community members. They were community members in the way that we see each other. And there is a history to that. There is meaning to recognizing when that was the case and remembering that somebody lived that life and deserves to be remembered for the life that they lived in engaging, in creating, in building our communities. So today, I want to share some words on John Evans. He was interviewed on the street and in his office. His residence changes frequently. This is the story of John Evans. This is the story of John Evans. When they went to interview him, he started with, "I was born August 15th, 1859. I am 78 years old. Me and my mother stayed right on with Mrs. Newberry after freedom, and we never knowed any difference. She taught me in my letters and the Bible, and was mighty particular about my manners. And I'm telling you, my manners have brought me a heap of more money than my reading, or the Bible. I'm going to tell you how that is, but first, I want to say that the most I learned on Middle Sound was about fishing and hunting, and dogs. There were sure birds and possums on the Sound in those days, partridges all over the place. Why, me and my mom even ate partridges for breakfast. Think of that now. But when I grew up, my job was fishing. I made enough selling fish to the summer folks all along Wrightsville and Greenville Sound to keep me all winter." And this might sound like a very simple story, a simple recollection of a life lived. But the author of the interview goes on to note towards the end, "John has been a well-known character for 50 years among the summer residents along the Sounds on Wrightsville Beach. He was a fisherman and a huckster in his palmy days, but now John's vigor is on the wane, and he has little left with which to gain a livelihood except his unusually contagious laugh and a truly remarkable flow of words. Old John, quote unquote, could give Walter Winchell a handicap of 20 words a minute and then beat him at his own game. His mouth is enormous and his voice deep and resonant. He can make a noise like a wood saw, which he maintains for 2 to 3 minutes without apparent effort. And the buzzing on and on from some mysterious depths of his being with amazing perfection of imitation. Any day during the baseball season, John may be seen sandwiched between his announcement boards, a large bell in one hand crying the ball game of the day. Old John to the youngsters, but finding many a quarter dropped in his hand by the older men with memories of gay hours and hearty laughter. And I think that's such a meaningful contribution to that story. It reminds us that as much as hearing their stories from them are important, that is never the full picture. We are never going to have the complete picture. We have to keep seeking it out and working. And when we do, we get to see sides of people that have been left out of our history that I think are so wonderful and beautiful. And in an age where so many people seem to be frustrated with reflecting on the parts of America that are hard to deal with, we should be open and excited to explore them if they will give us as well parts of America to be proud of, parts of America to believe in, people who fought these systems, who transcended beyond the limitations that were put on them, or simply the limitations that were innately there when they were born. And through that, I think we can really seek to put these people in the right place in American history as Americans first and foremost. Thank you.